Hey folks, we're going to be replanting some 15, maybe 18-year-old Cynthiana Norton rootstock. Bought these about a week ago from a winery that's going out of business. Very successful, but the owner retired. He didn't want to do it anymore. Growing grapes is a lot of work. So what I did, and I couldn't plant them. I absolutely couldn't do it, or I should have, but I couldn't do it. Plant them until now. So they've been out of the ground at this particular point about 7 or 8, maybe 8 days. So what I did was I brought them home. What we did is we pulled them out of the ground with a hydraulic jack. We cut them off below ground. This is what the roots look like. So they're in very good condition. If you can't replant them right away, first of all, consider not even taking them at all. But there was nothing I can do. The timetable is what it was. So I had to pull these out of the ground. Brought them home, put them in 30 gallons of water. There's about 10 of these total. This is an apricot tree, by the way. Same thing, I couldn't get to it in time. But put them in this, filled it with water, and covered it with an old rug. So they've been kept nice and moist. We want to get these out just as soon as we can, which we're going to be doing some of them today. They're about 5 feet tall, and then they spread out 6 or 7 feet on both sides. As you can see, this is last year's growth. Last year was a very bad year. It was so dry, literally it just didn't make. But there's nothing we can do about it. We're cutting these off. And these are spur pruned. And as you can see, they're about every 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches. We'll be cutting them off right in here for the growth this year. As you can see, they're starting to leaf out. But because I couldn't get to them soon enough, again, nothing I can do about it, but this will all work out. So you'll see us at this point planting these, and in a little while you'll also see us stringing the wire, putting the posts into the ground, and so we'll move on to step 2 in a second. Hey folks, this is how you drive a T-post. First of all, you have a post itself. These come in several lengths. These are 7-footers. You put it in the ground where you want it. You take the T-post driver, and all it is a piece of steel with handles. It's plugged on the end, so it's probably about 2 inches of a plug. You can see the weld comes about into here, so it's not going to come off. And you simply take it, put it on the T-post, which is going to be up in the air above your head at this point, and then you pull it down and you ram it into the ground as hard as you can until that goes down to the depth you want it. Now watch it when you're pulling this, driving this to the ground. Make sure you don't pull this off, because when you pull this off and come down, it's very easy, which you can see right here. Look, see this scar? That's where someone pulled it off. That could have been me. But someone, this belongs to the neighbor, so it might not have been me. But might have done it, might not. But here's what was done. They pulled it off. They came to the top, they pulled it off, they hit it like right here on the edge, and when they hit it, the top of that driver, I guarantee, came backwards and hit them somewhere, and it was very painful. So when you're driving a T-post, make sure you know where the end of that T-post is, because you can cause some serious injury if you don't drive that correctly. This is the cross piece you put on a T-post. Once this is driven into the ground, you typically have the teeth to one side. As you can see, this has an angle, so when it fits over that angle, like that, you have these notches up on the end. These notches go up. You slide it over here. Take your screws, put your screws down and tighten them off. Now there's adjustment back and forth, because these don't always drive in the ground just like you want them. They could be turned, cocked, arced. You don't really know. So there's some adjustment. If you want to use a washer on this, you can, and probably even should, but it's not required. These were not washered from the professional Vineyard, and I'm not going to washer them, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't or shouldn't be. It's an extra expense, but you make the decision on your own. This is what the final product looks like. Sometimes you bang the end of these up with a T-post driver. It doesn't make any difference. But this is what the final product looks like when it's in the ground. What we do is we take some of these ferrules, and it's tapered as you can see. There's a spring inside it. You slide the end over it. You can even hear it maybe. Listen. Maybe you can't hear it, but anyway. There, you cannot pull that out. That's in. Now we're going to string this along. Feed it through the next one. We're going to cut it right in here. That's a good place. It eventually is going to cut. These are not real sharp, but it will cut. Don't get it back on those jaws, right back in here. That's your strongest place, right in there. And squeeze hard, hard, hard. There you go. Grab one of those ferrules for me down there. Same thing, you slide it on the end. There, that will not come off. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side and pull it tight. A little bit at a time on both sides, and that's all you do. Here we go. This is the second part. All right, go ahead and cut that. Just right in there, anywhere will work. The extra large cutoff dikes are nice today, but we don't have those. This is back to basics time. You use what you have. Keep going. It'll go. Oh, we lost it. Cut. All right, here we go again. Put it through the ferrule. If you can make it stick. This is another used. Let's go grab a different one down there. This one doesn't want to cooperate. These are used, so grab a rather new looking one for the camera. See if you can slide that on there. The other way. There you go. I can't hold it.
I have it.
Will it go? There we go. There we go. Okay. So at this point we're going to tighten these up. Tighten that up a little bit on this side. Tighten it up on this side. I'll go down to the other side and do the same thing. This is what your final product looks like. You take and pull your wire through this ferrule. The ferrule's spring loaded, so that when you push the wire into the end of it, it's like the Chinese finger, whatever those toys were, where you put your finger on both ends of that wicker tube and you can't pull backwards. It's the same principle. You'll put your wire through the end of this, goes into that ferrule. It cannot pull backwards. You pull it through enough, and you have enough where you can wrap around the end over here, get it out of your way, because the guarantee is you'll end up cutting yourself somehow with these wires, and so you want to get them out of your way as much as you can. You can cut them off on the end, or you can wrap them around, whichever one you prefer. But it's almost a guarantee you're going to later need to pull this. Now, what this should be done, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, because this is a back to basics and you might not have the ability to tie these off properly. But what we should do, if we can, is we should run a wire from here down to a place in the ground about 3 or 4 feet away, and you put an auger type of screw or a stake into the ground, and this T-post will be pulled backwards by the tension, and they won't pull forward. It's not required. It's a good idea though. At this point, this particular one is ready to go. As you can see, it's set up on this end. Both sides are the same. It goes all the way down, and we're going to We're going to be planting the Cynthiana Nortons in the middle, and it's going to grow out both ways. They're going to be planted approximately here and here. We had some holes from a previous digging here. We'll fill those in. It's going to grow up. We'll tie the vines off to the center post. They'll come out and run both directions like this. And that's how it's done. Thanks.